Hey, what's up, Center Stage? This is B-Man coming to you live with a great interview set up with the lead singer of Gemini Syndrome. They're about to kick off an upcoming tour in a few months with their new record, Memento Mori, and I'm here talking with the lead singer who looks like Santa Claus but sounds like Jeff Tate of Queensryche. So help me welcome Aaron Nordstrom. How you doing, Aaron?
Doing great, thank you.
Yeah. So, Aaron, Gemini Syndrome. Well, we actually talked about that earlier, about where the name came from, but why don't you explain again why the name Gemini Syndrome?
Gemini is the twins of the zodiac, so it represents duality. And a syndrome is a collection of traits or qualities. So the name kind of boils down to the balance of, the human condition, the human psyche, the human personality, and reconciling the both ends of what that is. Fancy way of saying yin, I guess.
That's cool. And your fans started this movement, and they are known as sinners with a Y. How did that movement become about?
So in syndrome, the prefix of that is sin, S-Y-N, which goes back to Greek, which means to combine, unite, or bring together. So in calling the fans sinners, it's not a reference to like a biblical sense of sinning, of doing wrong or doing evil, but instead, talking about creating community, coming together, being a group unit, with all of them for the same purpose.
Oh, that's an interesting concept. I like that. First of all, congratulations on Memento Mori. I just listened to the whole thing, and I loved it from beginning to end.
Thank you.
You're welcome. How would you compare this album to your debut album, the critically acclaimed Lux?
I think it's a little more mature, a little more evolved. Given the fact that, we've been a band for, over 6 years now, we've had, as far as our interpersonal communication within the band itself and our relationship with each other, is obviously stronger at this point. We've seen things and gone through things together, and even within our band, it's like that is, they call us the original sinners in that sense. And, because our communication is better with each other, our understanding of one another is better, and I think that lends to a more developed record, songwriting-wise, performance-wise, concept-wise, all that stuff.
Yeah, speaking of concept, from what I've read, the first 3 albums that you guys plan to put out is going to involve the concept of life. The first one, Lux, was about birth, coming into this world, and this one, Memento Mori, is about the life journey, like living your life. And then the next one that you plan to release sometime in the future will revolve around death. What made you want to do the theme about life?
It's the concept of everything in this universe follows that path. Every human being, every living creature is born and lives and dies. That's really, there used to be the old cliche of death and taxes. Well, some people don't pay their taxes, but everybody eventually dies. So, you can look at plant life, or you can look at a book. If you read a book, you start the book, you read the book, you finish the book. Everything has a beginning, has a substance, and has an end. As far as, even as big as the universe itself, it seems has, going back to the Big Bang, whatever, the evolution of the cosmos, planets, stars, galaxies, whatnot, and seemingly, on a long enough timeline, eventually there would be some kind of end to it. But, on a metaphysical or esoteric level, everything has to kind of adhere to that. So it made sense to write about that experience from our perspective, in being human and having life and living and talk about that.
Well, I gotta say, this album was fantastic, and I really felt like I was going on a life journey. My favorite tracks are Anonymous, On Point, Gravedigger, and Alive Inside. Which track on this record would you say you had the most joy writing?
You know, they were all so kind of different in a sense. Like, everyone has its own unique personality. And in that regard, like, writing this whole album was really fun. Every single one was fun. There wasn't a single track that we were like, oh, we have to write this song. And, you know, come down to it, we ended up having a lot of extra songs that didn't make it on the record because they so really picking and choosing what not to have on the record was the hardest part. As we were recording it, I think, like, my favorite song tended to be whatever we were working on at that moment. We'd come out with Gravedigger done. I listen to Gravedigger constantly until the next song is done, until the next song is done. And, there's no, in my opinion, there's no filler tracks on this album, you know. Everyone speaks its own story, it has its own message, and, you know, musically has moments that are really fun. Like, you brought up Alive Inside. That was certainly one of my favorites. Like, the bridge in that song is probably, or possibly, the heaviest moment on the record. But it's also kind of enveloped in this really pretty chorus. And I thought that kind of, going back to the Gemini principle of having that duality, you know, we tried to do that with all the songs. We tried to have some really catchy tunes and melody, and then we wanted to have some moments of really heavy, you know, musicianship and emotion, like raw screaming, like the metal end of it. So yeah, I mean, I think every single song lends itself to that kind of principle.
That's cool. You just announced on your Facebook page that Daniel and Charles Lee have officially joined the band. Now, were they on this album as session players at first?
Kind of. I wouldn't say session players. Basically, AP, Brian, and myself wrote this record with Kevin and Kane. We did a couple songs with some other people too. Help from David Draymond on the song. And, but the majority of the work was just the three of us. So when we went into the studio, we had already begun working with Dan and Charles. I call him Chuck. So we brought them in kind of towards the end of the guitar session stuff and the vocal sessions. And because we knew that, you know, we knew these were the guys. We knew we wanted them to be, you know, a part of this project. So instead of just finishing it with the three of us, which we probably could have done, we wanted them to be involved. We wanted them to have, you know, their stamp on it. And at the end of the day, what they brought to the table, like, are some of my favorite moments on the record. You know, particularly with obviously guitar work, because they brought in their own ideas and their own creativity. They're fantastic players, both great singers. But it was, you know, an effort to make them feel like they were really part of it instead of just being session guys, instead of being like a side hand, you know. Wanted them to feel like they were part of the channel.
Oh, I get it. And whenever there was a cool riff or an awesome solo in every song, I felt like they brought something really cool to the table. So I think
They did.
So you got some really good guys backing you up.
And personality-wise too, man, there's such a great counterbalance that they fit into the group really well. And all five of our personalities are different enough, it's similar enough to make it, I mean, more or less entertaining. You know, on the long drives and stuff, it's just a lot of jokes that go back and forth, a lot of inside jokes. It's just cool. There's no stagnation as far as personalities go. You know, so aside from the musicianship of it, because obviously we're a band and musicians, that's of utmost importance. But when you're in a band and you're touring and you're traveling with each other and spending, you know, weeks or months of every waking moment with this group of people, if you don't get along, you know, it doesn't work in the long run. You know.
Yeah, unless you're.
It's not just about finding guys who can play. It's about finding the right guys for this band and everybody kind of being on the same page as to where we're trying to go, what we're trying to accomplish. I absolutely believe we found it with you guys.
Oh, I agree with you. Chemistry is the most important thing in a band, unless you're Van Halen and you're just doing it for the money.
Right, and that's the thing, too, is there's so many bands that don't get along. And, you know, I've been in projects where, you know, not everybody got along, and it just makes it a really unenjoyable experience. And I think, and I didn't want to have that in this band. I don't want to not enjoy playing music. I play music because I've played it my whole life, and it's just kind of what I do. So if I'm not having fun doing that, it kind of negates the entire point of doing it. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
because it's not for the money. I can promise you that. You know, it takes a long time before you can get to the place where you're making, you know, bank and boatloads of money. So you have to do it for the passion.
Oh, absolutely. I can't agree with you anymore on that part. On this album, you not only did you work with producer Kane, but you also worked with producer Kevin Churko, which is funny. Kevin Churko.
We did Lux pretty much in its entirety with Kevin, and we did a couple tracks with him on this record, and we worked the majority of it with Kane. And they're a powerhouse of a family. They're incredibly talented guys, and we're lucky to call them friends and family at this point. We've known them for years. It's just a joy to work with them.
Oh, I would bet, especially if you're working with a guy who's worked with artists like Ozzy Osbourne or Five Finger Death Punch and Papa Roach.
And Disturbed, and the list goes on, man.
And I was just talking with John Cooper from Skillet, and he actually, on the new album they're about to put out, they actually worked with Kevin Churko for a couple of songs, and they said the chemistry was unbelievable.
They did. I got to hear a couple of those while we were in the studio.
Yeah, I got that album too, and I really enjoyed what they did, especially with Out of Hell. That was my favorite track.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Those two guys, man, they can do anything. They can do any genre. They can really kind of influence any band in a positive direction. We were doing this record next door to Hell Yeah while they did their most recent album. They were working, the majority with Kevin, and we were in the same building. I've known those guys a long time. We played shows, festivals, some one-offs together, and it was a really cool experience to be able to watch their process kind of evolve as well. I think the last two records are the best work that band has done. I think this record in particular is just top to bottom fantastic. And, I grew up, I'm a Pantera fan, Mudvayne fan, nothing Davidson, so
oh yeah.
see all of those guys come together and create something that's totally, still obviously them, but definitely different than their other bands, their other projects. It's just, like we talked earlier, from the first record to the second record, we've known each other a long time now. So it's a little more mature in the relationship itself. And I think it was cool to watch, that process happen for them as well.
Oh, that is a wonderful feeling. In regards of touring, what do you guys got coming up for promoting this album? Are you gonna do a big tour with as a headline act or an opening act? What's going on?
Currently, we are on tour. We're about coming up on a month in with Nine Electric and Stitched Up Heart, who are friends of ours from LA and also label mates. We've toured with both those bands before, so we're in the middle of a 2-month headline with them. And we're working out details. We had the Chicago Open Air Festival the first week of this tour. We're doing the Houston Open Air Festival at the end of September, so we'll probably have a couple of weeks off after this tour ends up 9th in Vegas. Go down to Houston and do that festival. And then we're working out details for the rest of the year. There's a couple things lined up that I can't officially say out loud yet, but looking like they're pretty much locked in. It's going to be some exciting tours, some really cool bands that I look up to. Really excited to be on the road.
Yeah, sounds exciting indeed. And speaking of Stitched Up Heart, what did you think of their album Never Alone? I thought it was a stellar record.
Fantastic. I've known Mixie for years. We took them on their first tour back in the day. I think before we were signed for Lux and stuff, so we were still doing kind of a grassroots tour and just slugging it out. And we've known the guys in 9 Electric about the same amount of time. We've all been friends in LA, seen played shows at the Moxie, moved young and stuff.
Yeah, I remember seeing Stitched Up Hard when they played at the Loaded Bar in West Hollywood. That was the first time I saw them, right before they got big, and I was like, oh my god, this group's gonna go far.
Nixie is just, again, like I said, it took on her first tour, and I absolutely adore her. I think she's a fantastic human being. But as a musician, man, she has grown leaps and bounds, like exponentially, in the years that I've known her. And to watch her play every night, it's hard because they play right before us, so usually I'm like warming up and changing or whatever, but I always try to sneak in a couple songs. Man, they just deliver every night. The whole band is a great group of people, good friends of ours, I consider all of them family. And, that's another really cool thing to have on it, being surrounded not only by my band, who is just, coalescing in this awesome relationship of 5 people plus our crew, but then to have the other 2 bands that are out with us as well also be fans, and everybody gets along, and everybody's laughing, and you get stressed on the road, it happens, but for the most part, the majority of the time, everybody's having fun. Everybody's got a smile on their face, unless we're really tired, which certainly happens. But it's a blessing, man, to live this kind of lifestyle and then be surrounded by people you care about at the same time.
Absolutely. We got time for a couple more questions because I know you got some more interviews lined up. On this record,
busy day, that's for sure.
Oh, I bet you got a great record coming out.
I don't mind it. I love it, man. I love talking to people.
Well, so do I. On this record, this is your first album on your label, Another Century Media, and you did the previous one with Warner Brothers. What made you want to switch labels?
I think leaving was kind of a mutual agreement. There wasn't anything necessarily wrong with it. I mean, Warner did a great job of getting our name out there. There's some great people that work at that company, and we still keep in touch with them, we're still friends. But that also becomes a family kind of oriented thing. I think in some ways, for a baby band like us, it was kind of unheard of for a band like us to get signed to a major like Warner at the time. And, there was definitely a lot of questions about, like, well, how'd you pull that off? But at the end of the day, we're trying to compete with, your Disturbed and Muse and the pop division of Warner, which is just this huge conglomerate. Or Deftones or Event Sevenfold, like all these gigantic bands. And I just don't think that we were so young at the time that there wasn't. I don't know. I just don't think it was mutually beneficial for all of us to stay there. So in the move to Another Century, also people we've known for years. They were always at our shows in LA. We'd always see them at the festivals, so we developed friendships over time with them as well. And it's cool because with this label in particular, comparatively to Warner, there's not so many levels to go through. In the sense, like, I can go directly to the president of a label and give a phone call. That wasn't something I could really do with Democrats.
No, you can't.
Again, that's not a bad thing. That's just the reality of how the system's set up.
And it's a big company.
It seems like Another Century is very hands-on with us and very involved in the process of making this record, understanding the concept of these 3 albums, as far as the story goes, like really understanding the artwork behind it and the lyrical concepts and whatnot. So they're so accessible. It makes the process a lot smoother for us, a lot less painful.
Well, that's pretty cool, man. My final question is this, and I ask this of all my guest interviewers. Who's your favorite, the Beatles or the Rolling Stones?
Beatles.
Come on, man. It's all about the Stones. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the Beatles, but the Stones, they just had something more to bring to the table.
John Lennon, man, he was a visionary. I loved what he was trying to accomplish. One of the phone calls I was on earlier today, we kind of brought him up. Because there is a message in these records. It's not just me telling my story of life. There's a more esoteric kind of bigger picture thing going on. It's not just about me. about the story of everything. And like I said with the Sinners, like it's bringing people together, making a community. Like, that's something that I admired about what he did. And that's not to say I don't like the Stones. I'm not a huge fan, I won't lie. And I wasn't a big fan of the Beatles when I was a kid. I didn't get it. But as I got older, I just gravitated more towards what they were doing.
Yeah, when you grow up, you tend to re-examine these bands that you first hear about, and you finally get to understand what it's all about.
Yeah, and I think if you want to go back to that time period, if anybody takes the cake, that's just...
Well, if anything, I think a musical education always starts with the Beatles, because they were pretty much the first band that pretty much opened the big doors, for everybody.
Absolutely.
And you can't say that you don't have somewhat of a Beatles influence in you, whether it's songwriting, style of playing, lyric-wise, whatever. You're always influenced by them.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, with Memento Mori, I really got the concept of it, that life is too short and that you should enjoy every moment of it. I mean, just recently I had a little battle with my heart. It went into failure because of a virus thing, and it just made me realize that, life is so precious and it's so short that we, need to live it and enjoy it while we're on this earth.
And my hair is standing on end, just telling you that. That was the big influence for this record. Was not only, I've experienced a lot of people pass in my time. I'm not that old. I've seen a lot of people, a lot of death. And I've been in places where I've been in the hospital. I've been knocking on death's door too. And it really is, it is precious, man. As a kid, I was very depressed. There's a lot of songs on Bucks about that. I attempted suicide a couple times. I was hospitalized when I was a teenager for it. I was on medication and whatnot. And it's like, there's the line in the bridge of Remember We Die. It says, I used to beg the angels to carry me away. And as sand drifts by, as time goes on, I'm begging them to stay. And that couldn't be more true as far as, I think that one line really summed up the record from my personal experience is that. Because as a kid, I wanted to die. I didn't want to be here. I felt life was stupid. It was too hard, and people were too cruel. And, that might be true in some ways. I think people are cruel, and I think that's the point of writing a record like this, to remind people that your time's short. You have the opportunity to make a positive difference.
Well, I agree with you. And I feel like this record...
Your fellow humans.
I agree with you. And I feel like this record is going to have a positive effect on anybody that listens to it. And if anything, Aaron, you've just gained a new Sinner follower.
I love it.
Yeah, and I hope to see you in Anaheim, California, because that's where I live, and I really want to see you guys perform.
I'm pretty sure I don't know if we'll be in Anaheim, but we're doing a SoCal show, I think, at the end of the tour, so.
Well, I will definitely be looking for you there.
Sounds good.
All right, well, Aaron, thank you very much for taking time to talk with Center Stage Magazine. And fans, don't forget to go pick up their new album, which comes out August 19th, Memento Mori. Great album, can't miss it. Aaron, thanks again, and good luck with the rest of the tour with Stitched Up Heart, and I will see you when you come to a city near me.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. You enjoy yourself and enjoy the record.
All right, thanks, buddy.
All right, bye-bye.